regions, because we had 5 meetings, as you know, so I wanted someone from each, and we had our winner and our runner-up from each of the regions. But sadly, that meant there's a huge amount of people in this room tonight who have been outstanding, and are genuinely outstanding, and they have missed out. And frankly, they should be on the stage as well. But on that basis, there'd be no room for anybody out here, because we'd all be up here. So anybody who thinks they've done a lot and should be up here, I probably agree with you. But we had to make a choice, and so we did, and we came down to our final 5. Now, I had hoped to have a guest judge here tonight. One of the guys from head office was going to come. I very specifically hoped we would have Nigel here tonight, and I approached him some while ago to ask if he could come along. And we booked the event before we had discovered or bothered to look, to be honest. And it's an induction day today, so Nigel's up there doing his thing, and there's a bunch of people who would otherwise be here who are on induction today. But never thwarted as we are, we have a piece of Nigel here today. So Steve, can I ask you to do the thing? And Nigel is going to introduce our entrepreneur of the year.
I'm always behind the tall person.
Hi there, it's Nigel here. I'm really sorry that I can't be with you there in Guildford tonight. I would love to have been able to be part of this event. I hope you can save me a glass of that bubbly though. Because you know, over the last 18 months, Vanessa has pulled together 5 fantastic local entrepreneur circle groups down in Surrey. Epsom are there tonight, Farnham, Guildford, Godalming and Reigate. And what was really fab is when all you guys turn up at our national events as well. It was fab, almost 60 of you at the Basingstoke event last month, which just shows how properly engaged and focused so many of you are on the growth of your businesses. And in that regard, well, I'm really chuffed that Vanessa and Spencer have put together tonight's Celebrating Super Success 2012 event. Because you know, it isn't a national thing, this is something that they have come up with on their own, because I know that they are really keen to make sure that you guys get the recognition that you deserve. And it's all very, very important for us entrepreneurs, because it is a lonely place, and getting recognition from your peers, as some of you are going to receive tonight, ought to be a really fulfilling and a very rewarding thing. And of course, once getting all together in the same place, tonight's great for making connections, and of course being part of a great success community, because you'll all remember Botty's rule number 2, who you hang around with matters a lot, and there's some fab people there tonight. So anyway, because I can't be there in person, I asked Vanessa if I could do this little video, first of all to wish you all well, but in particular I wanted to congratulate the kind of nominees, the 5 local entrepreneurs of the year and the runners-up. I know Vanessa and Spencer found it very hard to choose the finalists, because so many of you are making frankly some serious shit happen in your businesses. But quite rightly, what she's done is look for people who had not only embraced the ideas that they got from the circle and elsewhere, but in particular those who have also implemented on a major scale. So without any further ado, I want to just go through the 5 nominees for this fabulous award tonight. Representing Reigate, there's Hilary Nunn and her can-do courses in education-based. I know that you are kind of making up to you keep coming back with more and more stuff that you've achieved, and there's no sign of you slowing down anytime soon, which I think is just fab. I love how you are always showing that spirit of how can I implement that in my business? One of the smartest questions that any business owner can deploy, and you deploy it regularly with loads of creative ideas. So it's a privilege to have you as one of the kind of finalists and nominees tonight. Now, from Epsom, we've got Adrian Dance with his St George's Finance business. Welcome back, Adrian. He sent me an email earlier this year listing a huge amount of stuff that he'd been doing, and I take my hat off to you. Well, I would had I got one on. It's really easy for people, particularly in your industry, in your position, to sit back and rely on connections and the networking circuit. But what you've done is focus on doing stuff differently, and you've done scheduled of it, including, I know, some really powerful Google AdWords stuff. So really much respect, Adrian, to the work that you have done as well. Another very worthy kind of candidate for this big award. Now, Farnham's representative tonight is Mark Russell from ABN. 3 times winner of the Entrepreneur Global, which I think is a record anywhere in the country. And Vanessa assures me that every single one of those wins has been entirely justified because you are another serial implementer. Not only focused on your own business, you've also learned and shared what you've learned with other members. And again, Vanessa, really very appreciative of that. I know the creating first impressions kind of message really resonated with you. And I love the sound of the drink street that you install for clients when they visit. Nice one, Mark. I must pop in sometime soon. Now, from Guildford tonight, the nominee from Guildford is the very feisty and ballsy Kate Lester. Delighted Kate that you've got on the team. She's recently joined my mastermind group, but she sent me an email earlier this year with the subject line "Tits and Arse." And then she told me all about the kind of mega targeted sales success that she's been having in the past few weeks. She's a formidable lady. She's taking no prisoners, and her diamond logistics business is really very, very impressive. It's been around for a number of years now, but this year she's made some big changes. She's got rid of the dead wood on her staff. She's been completely focused on leading from the front. Already her business is a 7-figure business, and she is on a major mission to add another 7 figures in the next 12 months, and I definitely would not kind of back against her. So another very worthy nominee. And last but by no means least, from Godalming, or representing the Godalming kind of patch tonight, is the brilliant Debbie Walker. Now, Debbie is a natural entrepreneur. Seems like yesterday, Debbie. But you showed no signs at all of slowing up this year. And what I particularly like, I mean, you are a naturopath. Now, I meet lots of therapists and people in your kind of sector, and I'll be honest, most of them aren't going anywhere anytime soon. But that's not you. Debbie is the mistress of thinking big. She's determined to be the #1 naturopath in the UK, and frankly, I would rate her chances really highly of getting there. She's already well on the way. So our 5th and similarly an equally worthy nominee there. So congratulations to all of you. There are 5 runners-up, to Tona, to Lesley, to Brian, to Louise and Lucy, who've all had fantastic years and done a ton of stuff in their businesses. And I'm sure we'll hear lots more about you and your businesses in the next 12 months as well. But Vanessa and Spencer are looking for just 1 regional winner. So now, rather than me deciding, or Vanessa or Spencer or anyone else, it's down to you. I feel a bit like Anton Deck at this point, because you now get to vote for the 1 person from those 5 who you think most deserves to win. So pick up your voting forms, have a little think about their stories. They are all very inspiring, but it's up to you guys there tonight to decide who will receive this fabulous trophy. Let me have a look. This fabulous trophy. I'll be honest, Vanessa, I think you could have done better, but hey, Entrepreneur of the Year 2012, South Surrey, Sutton and Epsom. It's a beautiful piece of cut glass. We'll certificate it for you. We'll get some great pictures. I'm sure this will end up in the press and in the media. This can only be a good thing for the winners here tonight, so please take your responsibility seriously and carefully when deciding where to cast your vote. Hey, listen, here's to a brilliant and super successful 2013 for all of you. Know for sure that myself and all the team here up at Botty Towers in Solihull, as well as Vanessa and Spencer down there in Surrey, we will be with you every step of the way next year. We'll kick your butt when it needs it, and more importantly, we will help you make the next 12 months the best ever for your business. Have a fantastic evening, and I'll see you all again hopefully very, very soon.
Cheaply sold. This is a seriously fabulous looking trophy. It's raised in his desk. So he mentioned, well, we had 10 people. Put that down there. 10 people who were in contention overall. I want to start off by just talking about the 5 people who were our runners-up, because they were absolutely superb. So firstly, can I ask, where's Tona? Where is she? She's hiding somewhere. Tona, tell us some cues. Steve, can you get the right certificate? Tona, come on up. So, sorry, around here. this is a seriously impressive lady. Tona is a friend of mine, actually. She's also my chiropractor. And I invited her to join the circle, well, about 18 months ago, wasn't it? And she has just been one of those people who's been on fire since then. She's got this fabulous practice, with really great ethics and a very can-do attitude. And she's brought all that stuff into it. And it was really tough not choosing you as our winner for Godwin, because you were absolutely brilliant, absolutely well-deserved, Tona. So a huge round of applause for you for everything, Tona. Okay, so representing our Epsom area, where's Louise? Louise has been so much fun to work with. It's actually quite astonishing that she's got here today. She said she disagreed with how the sat-nav told her how to get here. She has no sense of direction whatsoever. Why you ever thought for a moment that you had the right to argue with your sat-nav is anybody's guess. Louise is... Well, exactly. I can recognise the symptoms when I see it. She's been so much fun to work with. Louise has a photography business that specialises in photographing dogs, and she's passionate about dogs. And we have struggled and struggled to get her to move forward with her doggy photography business. And then suddenly, earlier this year, she had a revelation and has now started a thing called the Black Dog Bakery. And she makes dog treats. And the net result of her doing dog treats is she's getting quite a lot more photography business. But what's been interesting is suddenly through Black Dog you've been motivated to do a business plan. She knows her numbers, she does all sorts of really impressive stuff, and she's been a huge amount of time. She's taken quite a lot of stick, it has to be said, but she is enthusiastic, has embraced everything. You're absolutely brilliant. Well done to Louise. Right, how about Guildford? Where's Lucy? Lucy Matthews, who describes her PR style as fizzing. She's a very, very fizzy person. She's absolutely brilliant. So you have marvellous PR. You are a marvellous PR person. I particularly love the fact she went over and she did the New York Marathon, well, tried to do the New York Marathon recently, and ended up doing all sorts of charity work because of all the stuff that was going on there. But they wouldn't let her, but she applied herself instead. She's been absolutely phenomenal. You've been chosen to represent PR on Nigel's expert panel on a number of occasions, and this has been really inspirational, huge fun to work with, and I love your energy. So well done to you. Brian Baker from Reigate sadly can't be here. He has to take his dad up to hospital, so he really wants to be here. He can't. However, finally from Farnham, where's Lesley? Lesley Hughes, just an absolute sweetheart. It's been such a pleasure working with you. Her car network, her car leasing business, very competitive business. And I think one of the early things you discovered that about 80% of your time you weren't making money, but she's been completely honest about that, stripped everything back, rebuilt the whole thing, brilliant website, another great implementer, embraced everything that we do, and huge fun to work with, so well done to you, Lesley. Absolutely brilliant people. However, we do have our 5 nominees for the title, and I have invited them to come up and speak to you tonight. They've got about 2 minutes each. I promise I won't actually physically remove them from the stage at 2 minutes, but about 2.5 I might. So I'm going to ask each of them to share with you an inspirational message for 2013. So in the order that Nigel gave them, can I start with Hilary? Where's Hilary? Hilary Nunn's from Can Do Courses. I got the most wonderful email from her one Saturday morning. I will have to admit she made me cry because it was really early on. You'd only been in the circle about 3 weeks, and the stuff that this lady has done is absolutely phenomenal. So over to you. Here's the microphone. An inspirational message for 2013. No pressure.
Hi everyone. I'm a behaviour consultant, and I try to apply some of the things I talk to teachers about managing behaviour to manage some of my behaviour, and I think that there's one thing that Nigel says, well, there's quite a few things that Nigel says, but one of them is about, will it make the boat go faster? You know that the sayings that he comes up with, the 90 minutes, etc. Well, I want to share with you something that I share with teachers around the country. I'd like you all to fold your arms, please. Okay, we've got a good few people here that do right over left, and we've got some that do left over right. I'd like you all to change to the other way. Some of you haven't quite achieved that. Changing behaviour is quite difficult because we always do what we've always done, don't we? And sometimes the things we need to change are very simple, but they're quite hard to do. We have to keep reminding ourselves. So tomorrow morning, when you get up, fold your arms, and then fold them in a way that's not comfortable, and that will remind you that you have to do something a bit different today than you would normally do. And I think the 90 minutes part, for me, was the most difficult, to try and factor that in. But I've managed to do that, and I know lots of you probably will. So fold your arms the other way, everyone. Remember that it's not easy to do it, because it's not what you normally do. But good luck for next year, and thank you very much for everyone who nominated me. Thank you.
So from Epsom, I think Adrian, you were next on the list. I love about Adrian, he's a finance consultant, and exactly as Nigel said, so easy in your world to end up talking to networking people, looking for referrals, talking to strategic alliances, all the stuff that everybody else does, but you've chosen a different path. What I love about you at meetings, there's these light bulb moments that go on, because there was the whole, well, I could never do a premium product, that just wouldn't work in my business. And by the end of the session, I could probably do a premium product. And then, CRM, I don't need a CRM in my business. Well, maybe I'll have a CRM. And time after time, there's this lovely smile. And I have to say, the video that you did was fabulous, but the one thing we didn't get from that was your smile, because you have this wonderful, your face lights up with that kind of, I've got an idea, and you implement it, and I get these emails at 8 o'clock the following morning, all the stuff that he's done literally overnight, because he's had great ideas. So, over to you.
I'm in finance, I raise money for people, so the last 4 years of running my own business has been a bit of a nightmare getting money out of banks. And this is not, I'm not sure how inspirational this is, but towards the end of last year I was thinking, do you know what, this is too much hard work. And I actually looked, I had a job offer to go back into banking, and I thought, let's take the cash, have a salary, have a nice, easy kind of life, none of this headaches and CRMs and all this other kind of stuff. And it was a big sort of wake-up moment for me to think, I've put 3 years into this, do I actually keep on going regardless, or do I just take the cash, go back to banking and think, nice, easy life, company car and pension scheme and life cover and all that kind of stuff. And it was that kind of moment that made me think, do you know what, it's not about financial security, it's not about that kind of easy life. Actually running your own business has got so much more to it. You've got the flexibility, you've got the ownership, you've got the ability to build something that has real value for the future. And hopefully I will make some money at some point, and it will really be great. But it's getting very close to, do I give it all up? Which I guess everybody's probably had their hard times. But actually when you've really got it on the table and think, I could give it all up, but I don't want to, is really what, being here, running your own business, we're in a massive economy, 2.5 trillion income, there's got to be a lot of money we could all make. And I suppose the message is just keep on at it, because it's plenty to go for, with the help of people like Vanessa right now.
I know we've got a lot more from you in 2013. It's lovely when we have these quiet, unassuming kind of members, but it has to be said, our next candidate is not one of those. Mark, join me on the stage. Mark, representing Farnham. He's an absolute giant of a man physically. When he comes onto our Farnham meetings, he absolutely fills the room, don't he? Mark, serial implementer, those commitment forms, so there's only 3 or 4 of those things, and the following week, or following month, by the time we've had all the emails, we're talking about 8, 9 or 10 different things that he's implemented. So he's a serial implementer. I love the fact that he shares his energy with other people, which has been really, really powerful. I see you have a friend with you tonight, no doubt he's part of your inspirational message. So over to you.
Okay. First of all, congratulations to all the other winners and the runners-up. Fantastic. Let's give them a round of applause. Another one. I'm very humbled to be in their presence. Well, both Gus and I are humbled to be in their presence. Gus is with me today because he's a great icebreaker, and he's also fantastic at spotting the elephant in the room, and he tells me there's no elephants in the room tonight, so that's really great news. So Vanessa said, right, tell us a story, or what's going to inspire you, and I think the message I want to get over to you is what you focus upon becomes your reality. I'll say that again in case you missed it. What you focus upon becomes your reality. Do you remember when you were learning to ride a bike and you thought, this looks really, really easy, then you get on the bike, and then you think about what happens if I fall off? And what happens? You fall off, yes or no? Okay, so topical at the moment, it's cold, skiing. Remember that first time you got on a set of skis or a snowboard? You think, what will happen if I fall off? And you end up looking at your feet and not looking at where you're going, and you run smack into the tree. Yes or no? Okay, so it's really important then to focus on what you want, what's good, rather than what you don't want, and what's bad. After all, ladies and gentlemen, rarely do we get what we deserve in life, but we often get what we expect. So, 2013, if you're expecting to survive, if that's your target, well, guess what? If you're lucky, you might survive. If you want to consolidate, that's what you can expect, consolidation. But if you think about 2013 and the number of ways as to how you can make it much better than 2012, well, now you're on the right road to create some expectations of how to have a fabulous year. So here's the action point to take away from this little talk. Think about what you want from 2013, frame it positively, identify one or two actions that you can realistically work upon, make a huge difference in your life, go to it, create a plan, take action. And I just want to leave you with a quote that really inspires me. It's from a chap called Earl Nightingale. He's an American, yeah, I guess we can forgive him for that. But he's a great motivational speaker and a prolific writer, and he says, the key to success in anything in life and business, you've got to have a plan, the roadmap, and you've got to be courageous and press on to your final destination. Thanks very much.
You might want to lose the lipstick on the side of your cheek before the photos. That's me. I'm sorry about that. Well, it's that as well, obviously. Right, our fourth of our candidates, Kate. Can I invite you to come up? As Nigel said earlier, the feisty Kate. She's been an absolute breath of fresh air in our Guildford meetings. She swears about every other, well, probably 10th word. I suspect this evening will not be any exception. She's absolutely brilliant. I think one of the best stories I have about Kate is when we were discussing how she sacked quite a number of her staff, and when Spencer whispered across to me, actually one of them was her ex-husband. She takes no prisoners whatsoever. Absolutely brilliant. And that's the stuff you do. Over to you, Kate.
So it'll be in complete contrast to that. I'm going to read you my letter to Santa. So, dear Santa, hello again. A short note from me with my annual wish list. Do hope that this year finds you well. Personally, I'm still recovering from your exploits of last year. I certainly didn't expect to see you grow with my mother under the Christmas tree, regardless of the quantity of sherry that you consumed. And as for Rudolph leaving that on the lawn, don't they have poop scoops in Lapland? Anyway, I've been a very good girl this year. Jim Rohn said that changes come from inspiration or desperation. Well, I guess I faced both of these this year. So I've been being good, I'm working hard as well as smart. I've joined the Entrepreneurs Circle, otherwise known as the Cult of Botterill. We have monthly meetings that are a little bit like Workaholics Anonymous, which we thresh out the finer points of our craft, the art of business. I've committed to his 29 rules, particularly the top 10 which I live and die by. It ain't what you do, it's the way that you do it. Will it make the boat go faster? Be ruthlessly intolerant of incompetence? I can't do all of this by myself. Set publicly declared deadlines to make sure you do them. Surround yourself with people who help you grow and achieve. Finish stuff. 90 minutes of business development every day. Be all over your numbers and beware of time vampires. I've learned from the late great Zig Ziglar that when you're tough on yourself, life will be infinitely easier than you. I've learned from Tony Robbins about Can I, which is constant and never-ending improvement. I remember that then. And I've even had inspiration from Winston Churchill, who said, when you're going through hell, then just keep going. And I've read Felix Dennis and Richard Branson and Albert Gray and Professor Deming and many, many more, all inspired by the interaction with my fellow EC members. And guess what, Santa? I've transformed my business, changed the culture, methodology, focus and sales, and most importantly, I've changed me. So for Christmas this year, Santa, I want even more growth and lots of profit. After all, I have been very good. And one other thing, Santa, can you give the same to all my fellow entrepreneurs in the Entrepreneurs Circle, because they've been really good too.
I don't doubt Santa will be very good to you. So last but absolutely not least, Debbie, our she's Entrepreneur of the Year nationally. But and Kate, actually, quick congratulations. Where is Kate again? Entrepreneur of the Month nationally. Have you not seen that? It's in the magazine. Yes, you are the National Entrepreneur of the Month, which is exactly what was it January. February this year, so we have another one. I think that's 4 we've had from our region. So well done to you. But anyway, Debbie. So Debbie, I loved your video. Debbie says a naturopath, very easy in the therapist circle, and so many of them do just sit back, wait for stuff to happen around them, because they're generally very nice, gentle people, which is great for being a therapist, not so good for being business development, but I'm sure you are a lovely, gentle person, but you're certainly not when it comes to growing your business. I loved that video of yours. No, it wasn't slick, it was bloody inspiring. Who saw Debbie's video? There we are. And what was it inspiring? Yeah. It was brilliant, so well done you. And she hates video, why is that? Over to you.
I imagine that lots of you have got in 12 months' time a plan for your business, you know where you want to have headed. But have you thought about the vehicle that you need to get yourself there? Because in 12 months' time, this is the actual vehicle that you need to be working fundamentally to actually be getting you to that point. Because you cannot have a super successful business. You cannot have clarity in your mind. You cannot have the energy to achieve that if you don't look after this on a moment-by-moment basis. We have 70 trillion cells. I didn't realise you didn't get biology lesson, did you? And basically, those cells on a moment-by-moment basis are changing. And they change unconsciously. 10 million of your cells just died then. And they have to be eliminated through your system. And then 10 million have been recreated. And they've been recreated on what you eat, drink, and think. It totally matters what you put in on a moment-by-moment basis, because in 12 months' time, if you truly want to be successful and you don't want to be burnt out, you don't want to be shattered, you don't want to be not able to have clarity over performance, you truly do need to be focusing on what you eat, drink and think all the time. Junk food gives you junk thinking.
Well, there we are. There we have our life. As Nigel explained, it's over to you now. This is my out of deck. Perhaps I'm more observant than Leary, I don't know. On the tables in front of you are voting forms. Can everybody please grab a voting form? We have got extras. Now it's come to the moment where we're going to award this lovely trophy, and it is beautiful. Yeah, it says Entrepreneur of the Year 2012, South Surrey, Sutton and Epsom. So it's in the best traditions of announcing things. You've got to have that whole big moment thing, haven't you, with this, we're all waiting, what's it going to be? It's not going to be me that's going to do it. Can I ask you, Steve, could you just hold us?
Votes are all in, and they've been counted. And I can now tell you, in the best traditions of award announcements, that the Entrepreneur of the Year in South Surrey, Sutton and Epsom for 2012 is Debbie Walker!
Steve. There is a certificate. Photo. Got a bit of glitter on that, so graph here. Look, it comes nice and close. Is that well deserved or what?
Yes!
It's been so inspirational, honestly. You've made me cry more than once. And just seeing all the different things she does every month. Because, I mean, some of you, I mean, Kate, you know, 7-figure business and extraordinary things you've done. The fact is, this lady did it from nothing. I mean, she joined the circle, she said to me, I can't afford to be a member, but you know what, I can't afford not to be. You were literally having to kind of justify each month's membership as you went along. And you're well on your way now to kind of a 6-figure take home, and you're absolutely committed to being the best naturopath in the UK, and I know you will get there. You're absolutely bloody astonishing, and thank you so much for being in my group. Conclusion, what I do want to do is, before we go, all of our winners, I've got certificates for everybody. We're going to do photographs that Adam's going to do at the front here. We'll put some music on, the bar's open, please stay as long as you can and just enjoy yourselves. Well done to everybody, you are all winners. Everyone in the room's winning, you've been absolutely brilliant, and thank you so much, that is extraordinary. It's even got my big posh signature on it as well. Fantastic. Thank you very much. Here's to a fantastic 2013. I'm really looking forward to it, I hope you are too. Thank you and good night.